stuff. And so I posted that on there to share with other people what exactly we go through for that testing.
Now, you were I was reading, I can't remember the terms that were used. And excuse me, because when you get to be 63, it's like, see? Okay, you know.
I'm catching up.
Yeah, okay. But the thing is, no, but if you have a sight, I have to say sight challenged now. Okay, when I came up, it was blind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you have a sight challenged person, they have an animal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there was like the different types of.
Right.
Can you break down those groups?
that's a good question, because we get that a lot, especially in our emails and messages about difference between service animals,
Right, there we go.
emotional support animals, and therapy animals.
Right.
So service animals are like what you say, like a guide dog or even a miniature horse. In the United States, you're allowed to have a dog or a miniature horse as a service animal. And this animal is trained to do something for that handler. So it could be, opening and closing doors, guiding them somewhere.
Across the street.
Yeah, something like that. And there's even, you'll have like, I work in Walmart, so I see a lot of PTSD dogs. So, they alert to changes in their body. If they're like getting really anxious, the dog will alert them, hey, calm down and everything.
I didn't realize that there were post-traumatic stress disorder animals.
Yeah, that helps with a lot of veterans. So you'll see a lot of veterans with those dogs.
Okay.
I know you have epilepsy dogs.
Yeah, and epilepsy. Yeah, those are good. That's a good point too. They're really in tune with your body language, and through training as well, especially training to alert when you start having a seizure or something like that. Now, emotional support animals is kind of really iffy right now because, on the news you have people going into airports with peacocks and all kinds of stuff.
Peacocks going.
So back in the day, at least, emotional support animals, like, for example, I'll give you an example. We've had somebody message our page about emotional support animals with rats. She was going to college, and being away from home, it really was a big anxious thing for her. And so she talked to her college and her doctor to basically get a pet as an emotional support animal, which I call it a prescribed pet. So it's like the doctor's like, hey, I think an animal of some sort will be really helpful for you. And that's usually to help with anxiety or depression. And so it does not allow the pet to go anywhere. Service animals, they can go anywhere the person goes. Emotional support animals are prescribed pets, so they have to stay at home. And a lot of people abuse that, and they'll go anywhere they want with it. Airports, that's a whole different thing. It's because now people are abusing it, so not really sure about the airports at that point. That's going to be something with the airport specifically. You're going to have to ask them about it. But people have dogs, rabbits, rats. It doesn't really, it's not Parrots. A really specific, just, it's like I said, a prescribed pet. And people think that they can go anywhere with the animal, but they can't. But some, like for the thing with the college, that's more of a housing thing. And it doesn't allow, if you go to our apartment or something and they say, we don't allow pets, people are like, well, I have an emotional support animal. And that does give you a little leverage, but it's still up to the housing people to say yes or no. So that is a whole fuzzy thing right now because of all that. But therapy animals are invited to go places, and they are trained to be okay in different environments, like Vincent. So he's really chill right now. If something loud happened, he'd be okay. And they're not trained to help the person. They're trained to help other people. So, and they're not allowed to go in other places either unless it's pet friendly. So people always come to me like, hey, like, can I have my rat as a service animal? There is one person who has done that, but they had a fight with their county to get that allowed, and it's just in their county. And then what happened is that their rats alert to their seizures, like you said, epileptic stuff. So the rat will sit on their shoulder, and if she gets a seizure, the rat will alert her, I think by licking face or something. But that's only allowed in her county in California. If she goes anywhere else, the like a restaurant owner or someone would be like, hey, they could tell her to leave the facility. So it's a lot of information.
Our
There's
society,
a lot of good and well-meaning things, and you get
it gets confusing.
that abuse the system.
It gets confusing.
And it makes everything.
Yeah, and with
hard for
the
everybody
emotional
else.
support animals, yeah, like the lady I talked to, that was like a real issue for her. Like she really did need those rats to be with her in her dorm. But people like, oh, I want to make sure that my dog can go with me, stay at my apartment, or go with me to the airport and not be in the back of the plane or whatever, in cargo, and they'll just put a vest or something on their animal, and that's it. But if you have a dog that's in training to be a service animal, and they're in Walmart or something, and you have a dog who is a fake service animal with a vest and everything, they're going crazy, they're not trained, that can be a big risk for you and a big risk for that animal, because if that dog gets spooked by something, that's a lot of training that goes down the drain, and people pay a lot of money for those animals.
it's interesting. I was in Home Depot recently, and I saw people walking dogs in Home Depot.
And that's allowed. They're a pet-friendly place.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's just fun.
Yeah, and Home Depot is a great place, and Lowe's and any other place like Tractor Supply are great pet-friendly places that people will use to go train their dogs, and that's perfectly fine. But any other place, you really need to ask to see if it's pet-friendly. So I could go there with Vincent, and that'd be fine. Okay. We might attract a crowd, but yeah.
Now, speaking about attracting a crowd, tell the neighbor about the Pet Partners Conference in San Antonio in September, and what you're trying to do. And neighbor, if you have something with which to write and upon which to write, you might want to get that together, because Miss Abby's going to give you some information, and perhaps you'll take down this information. Hopefully. I mean, this is radio, and I never know who's listening and what they're going to do.
Well, hopefully we got some people listening from our Facebook page, so we've attracted a lot of people. So the Pet Partners Conference is in San Antonio, Texas, and they have a lot of professionals that deal with animal therapy or animal-assisted interventions and activities. And
September 20th through 21st, right?
Yes, I believe so. In September. I'm still planning I got to get the stuff by August. So we're trying to raise enough money for me to go there. Vincent can't come, unfortunately, even though it's about therapy animals. It's a long conference, and it'll be a little exhausting for him. So he'll stay home and relax while I learn a whole bunch of stuff. So
Papa Tim will take care of him.
Oh, yeah.
Come back and be twice as heavy.
Oh, my.
Too many treats.
We're trying to raise enough money to send me over there for a couple days and learn a lot of stuff so we can improve our therapy animal efforts and, just represent the little guys, literally, at the conference. So you can go. We have fundraising T-shirts that says, "Rats make me boggle."
Explain what that $50 word.
Yes. So if you ever met Vincent, you might notice that, or any rats, you'll notice that their teeth. The rats that are really happy will grind their teeth, and that's called bruxing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes this will cause like a little vacuum effect, and their eyes will start to bulge out. It is the coolest thing. It's kind of freaky, but for me as Vincent's handler and his mama, that tells me that he's a very happy boy. And it's just really confirms the fact that, okay, he's happy, he's content, and he likes what he's doing.